So identifying what are your core values, and then identifying who are the people that are going to put up a mirror and show you. Because after working at a few big law firms, eventually I started my own law practice, and I'm a solopreneur, and I'm hustling. I'm literally going to every networking event, selling my services at the gym, trying to get any next client to make payroll, and I started missing dinner. The kids started asking me, Mommy, will you be home? And I started having marital problems. Because I was so imprisoned in the mindset that I had grown up my whole life believing, which was, I have to achieve. I've got to get the next client. I've got to be able to make payroll. And as a solopreneur, I was wearing all sorts of hats. So I got the chance to meet a real estate developer. Now, I've already described, right? I've been hustling. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I get one big client, that means volume business, which means financial stability, which means more time with my kids. So I jump. Right? Like, I've got to get this client. I'm telling you, within 2 weeks, I had my first closing request. And it was like a steamroll came in, and I never took the time, nor did I make the time to do any due diligence on, now this guy I'm about to lay in bed with, but like on the process, the transactions themselves. And by the way, I'm surrounded by attorneys. My mentors, my friends, and yes, even my parents are not attorneys. So I could have gone to any number of people to ask for help. And I realize now I didn't ask for help because I didn't want to know the answers. I was so focused on getting the client. Because I gotta keep this client, make him happy, by answering emails on Christmas Eve as I was taking my children to sleep. So an email pops in, and in the email is 2 lines that said, buyer to receive $72,000 from rental guarantee. I don't know about you guys, that's a lot of money. So immediately in my head, I was like, oh, it's like a salary project. I was like, okay, that doesn't feel right. So there was an attachment to the email, and within 2 seconds, I forwarded the email. So now, why do I forward this email when clearly my gut doesn't feel right? Well, I have hospital relatives. It's almost Christmas morning. My kids are not yet sleeping. And none of my cousins are out. Right? Like, how easy is it to forward an email without looking into it? Without actually listening to your gut? Because I was definitely silencing my voice. And so my attorney said, I know you. I've known you for 20 years. I know you didn't walk into this planning a crime. You're a really good person. But here's the thing, as an attorney, you had a fiduciary duty to do more. To listen to your gut, to ask the questions that you didn't ask, and not doing something is still doing something wrong. Right? When I met this client, I was so controlled by achievement and making money and how am I going to pay for things that I didn't let my core values take control. I was just stuck in that ego. And I think the more we train ourselves to let go of these things, we get more powerful. We start to make better decisions. And then we don't get stuck in this self-imposed prison that we find ourselves in all the time. And I do a lot of leadership work now with teams and organizations around this, like really rooting into what are our core values, finding that alignment, and then finding our why.